Hey everybody, and welcome to Radical Results, this webinar where we're going to work together to try and help you create a better game plan to create massive results, radical results in 2014. I'm excited for you because the fact that you're here, the fact that you're plugged in, the fact that you're ready to learn says a lot about what your year is going to be and what you can expect from this year. Stepping out and deciding, you know what, I'm ready to change. And as we get started, one thing I'd like to ask you all to do, because we are online, you are watching this online, go to your other browsers and close out all the tabs and close out your email program and take your phone and put it away. And because typically once you're online, you say, well, let me just go over and check Facebook while I'm listening. Let me just go over and check this while I'm listening. Let me check my email. I can answer a few emails while I'm listening. And when you do that, I believe me, I understand because I do it. That's why I'm telling you this. But when you do that, you rob yourself of focus, because this can be a really important hour or hour and a half or whatever, however long it's going to be. I slotted 90 minutes because I don't know how long it's going to go. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover. But during this, I'd ask you to invest this time in total focus on you. Total focus on your year. Total focus on your goals, your results, the things that you want to accomplish. And don't allow all the voices and all the noises around you to distract you from what could be a key ingredient, one little key thing. And if you're focused on it, you're taking notes with it, it makes a big difference. If you're not focused on it, it's just kind of in passing, maybe you missed it. And maybe that was the key. Sometimes I find that breakthroughs happen when that one last little combination in the combination lock falls into place. Click. It just falls into place. You had all the other pieces. You just needed that one extra little piece. And hopefully, we'll provide that for you over the course of this webinar. So, first of all, I want to tell you as we start, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for being involved in network marketing. I'm proud of you for taking charge of your life. I'm proud of you for fighting for your own freedom and the freedom of others. I'm proud of you for caring about your legacy and your contribution in the world and fighting against the stream of what everybody else thinks, everybody else seems to talk about. Marina and I were watching last night the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Phenomenon, but in this movie, on his birthday, he looks up in the sky and this light comes out of the sky and knocks him off of his feet. And immediately starts being able to see things differently. He starts to be able to learn and grow and expand. And it's exciting for him, but it scares everybody else. It scares everybody else. Pretty soon all of his friends are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. People start treating him differently. People start treating him poorly. It reminded me of network marketing. In network marketing, we see this opportunity. This light shines on us and knocks us off of our feet. And all of a sudden, we start seeing the world differently. We start thinking differently. We start acting differently. And it really threatens the people around us. It threatens people who haven't been knocked off their feet, who don't understand, or are still blind to the opportunity. And it can be difficult sometimes to go against the stream all the time, go against the traffic all the time, go against consensus and what everybody else thinks all the time. But that doesn't mean it isn't right. It's right for you to face your future and your dreams with determination. It's right for you to be able to stay on this path and help other people to get on theirs. So I just want to congratulate you as we start, as we kind of work through this together. It's going to be fun. And I also want to tell you that I hope you're taking notes. One of the things that really serves me, I use a journal and I write in this journal every single day. I mean, sometimes it's a to-do list, sometimes it's an idea, sometimes it's my goals. If you saw my goals for 2014 and my game plan to achieve those goals and the habits that I wanted to incorporate in order to be able to fulfill those goals, it's a huge document. I mean, it's huge. It takes some time. It takes a little bit of work to be able to do this right, but it's your future. You know, it's just your future. It's just your life. So make sure that you're taking notes. If you have a journal, fantastic. If you don't, write it down on whatever you've got, and then transfer it into something that you can hold on to a little bit more permanently in the future, okay? The end. Okay. So let me talk to you about radical results. Radical results. And I hope you like the sound of that. Radical results, outrageous results, amazing, spectacular results. How do you achieve radical results? And one thing I pride myself on a little bit is I try to hear what people say on one side, and then I try to see what actually works on the other side for me and for others. And I've attended and listened to more goal setting sessions than I can probably remember. And typically they're, make your 1-year goals, 3-year goals, 5-year goals, narrow them down, figure all that stuff out, and you end up with this list, right? And if I could show you my journals for the last 20 years, the list is almost identical, right? Every single year it's just about the same exact things. And it starts to make you a little bit cynical because you don't necessarily achieve those goals by writing them down. They give you a starting point, but they don't get you to the end. So what I want to talk to you about is what's worked for me, what's really worked for me in network marketing, what's worked for people that I know, and what people have been able to teach and replicate. That's what interests me in our profession, okay? So what I've seen is there's three elements that for radical results, for real goal achievement. Those three elements are, number one, written goals. Many of you have done that already. You might have a goal that you've thought about. Maybe you've written it on paper if you're involved in network marketing. We do a better job than most professions as far as writing those goals down. Most people just think about it, yeah, I'd like to, I hope to. They make this list, and it doesn't really necessarily, it's not as concrete as it should be. So written goals are important because, and I'll talk about why they're important, but the second piece is a serious game plan. A serious game plan to achieve those goals. What do you need to do, and what kind of a person do you need to become in order to be able to achieve the goals that you've written down? See, it's not just like The Secret where all you have to do is think about this goal long enough and everything will take care of itself for you. See, what the real principle of The Secret is if you write these down and you think about them long enough, then you'll eventually start creating a game plan towards achieving those goals because it's going to be your dominant thought. But you can't just write it down and wait for it to come. I'm going to be at the top rank in my company, just wait for it to come? It just doesn't work that way. So this game plan, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about today. How do you achieve the goals that you have in your business and in your life? That's where the game plan comes in. And then third, new habits. New habits. Habits are the real key, in my opinion, to long-term success. Habits. Those things that you'll do habitually over and over and over because they become part of you, that will give you the best chance for holding on to your long-term results. Because I'll give you an example. Sometimes people set a goal to achieve a certain rank. And they have a game plan to be able to do it. And they're going to go bust, and they get to that rank. And then they stop. Because they're done. They've achieved it. There's no new habits. So now even though they have the rank, the organization starts to fall. They start to lose their income. They start to lose their encouragement, right? Their excitement. It's like a person says, I have a goal to run a marathon. So I'm going to train to run a marathon, and I ran the marathon, check it off the list, and then they don't run for 5 years. Right? So habits are going to be the key to long-term sustained success. Not just one-time success, but long-term success. The most successful people in network marketing have developed new habits. Not just a game plan to achieve a goal, but the end result is they became a different person and they have a new set of habits that have allowed them to be able to hold on to their growth, okay? So we're gonna be talking about all of those things. And I will tell you, I believe in long-term goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, that's fine. They're good as kind of a long-term milepost, but I'm more of a believer in shorter term goals. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, maybe up to 18 months. That's what we can see because our world is changing so fast. That's what we can see. Figuring out those particular goals. So let's talk about how to achieve these short-term goals, going through our list of written goals, serious game plan, new habits. We're going to focus on from now through 2014, maybe 18 months. All right. So remember we talked about number 1, written goals. Let's talk about that a bit. Here's what goals do. Goals provide direction. Here's where you're going. Here's what I want to achieve. You get in the sailboat and you say, okay, there's our destination. It gives you direction and a little bit of focus to know what you need to do in order to be able to get there. Okay, it provides direction. You're going to focus on the end result here. Focus on the end result. What it's going to be like when you accomplish the goal. What that's going to look like, feel like, what's going to happen to the people in your family, etc. Okay, we're going to talk about that. I'll give you some ideas. And understand, to do this is work, but it's powerful work. It's some of the most important work you'll do. I typically take about 2 weeks a year to formulate the goals and the game plan and the habits that I want to achieve in the coming year. About 2 weeks, not full time, but thinking about it, writing it down, mapping it out, thinking about it again, looking back at it again, getting myself solid on it. It's some work. It takes work to do this. Most people don't want to do that. They go, oh, my brain's tired, I want to go out to eat. My brain's tired, I want to go to the movies. My brain's tired, I want to turn on TV or turn on Netflix or something. Or I want to just go scroll on Facebook because it's so much more relaxing than the work of this. This is work, but it's important work. And I also want you, as you go through this, to think about your intentions. Because in the achievement of your goals, your intentions matter. They matter. And what I mean by that is if your intention is to get rich, no matter what it takes, that's going to give you a certain result. If your intentions are to do well in network marketing by helping other people do well, if your intentions are about helping others, if your intentions are about something bigger than yourself, then you're going to get a different result. If your goal is around, maybe you want to achieve something and have something to be able to show other people that they can have it too and be an example for freedom, that's fantastic. But if it's just about you and you don't care what happens to other people, that's going to have an impact too. So think about your intentions as you go into this new year. I understand if you're just trying to get started in network marketing, your intention is to make some money. Your intention is to get to that next rank because it's frustrating not making money, not being at the next rank. That's where your intention is. But you'll find that your intentions will start to shift to other people, will start to shift to something greater, something legacy-oriented, a purpose-oriented, cause-oriented, mission-oriented. If you can see the words mission and cause and purpose and legacy start to find themselves into your goal strategy, I think you're going to have a completely different year. So think about that. Your intentions matter. So let's talk about some examples of goals that you can set. Now these need to be your goals. I'm not going to set them for you, and I'm also not going to talk to you necessarily about your faith goals, your health goals, your relationship goals. You're going to use these strategies for that on your own. I'm going to be talking about network marketing goals, okay? Network marketing goals. So let me give you some examples of goals that I've that have worked well for me in the past and might work well for you. One is rank. Companies do us a great favor by giving us these ranks to be able to aspire to be able to try to move up to. And as we're doing this, I want you to give yourself permission to be a little bit radical, be a little bit outrageous. Understand it's okay that if you stretch for something crazy and you don't achieve it, you still will reach farther than you would have reached if you didn't stretch for something crazy. So what I mean by outrageous and radical goals is you might be at a certain rank and you want to get to the next one. Well, maybe you need to set a goal to get 3 more. If you're at the top rank in your company, maybe it's to create something completely new that's never been done, not just sitting back and being cool. See what I mean? Maybe that rank goal could be faster than you ever thought possible, faster than anybody's ever done it in your company. So think about rank. Think about that goal for yourself, for your team. Think about what you want to be able to achieve. That really worked well for me, that end result of that rank-oriented thing, because I'm a competitive person. I like to compete. So rank was important. Another one, big one, income. How much you want to make in 2014? What do you want to earn in 2014? Now, the great thing about that, when we talk about intentions, is the income goal itself can only be accomplished by you helping other people. In network marketing, unlike virtually any other company, business that I know of, you have the opportunity to earn only if you help other people, only if you move more products and services that help other people, only if you help other people make money, right? It's a measuring stick for your achievement. It's a measuring stick on how many people you've been able to help. So think about your income. Now, when it comes to rank, I asked you to be outrageous, and when it comes to income, I want you to be outrageous. This is not where I want you to be a realist. I don't want you to just think about something very attainable. That's not what this is about. I haven't seen that work really, really well. What I've seen work really, really well is somebody put outrageous goals out there and then push themselves to create a game plan and habits in order to be able to achieve those goals. So if you're getting started, maybe your goal might be, coming into this webinar, make $10,000 this year, make $12,000, $1,000 a month. And maybe your goal could be, if you could change your level of belief and commitment, maybe it could be $100,000 in a year, not $12,000. What would it take for you to make $100,000? Start to break that down. What habits would you need to develop and start to break that down? See what I mean? I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to push yourself. I don't want you to accept something less than what you're capable of. It's a belief game. It's a fear-facing game. It's the only thing that stops you from being a 6-figure earner in network marketing is belief. The only thing that stops you from being a 7-figure earner in network marketing is belief and time. That's it. That's it. You'll figure the rest out if you're ready to go. So income, think about what you want to be able to have on your tax return at the end of the year as far as total income from network marketing, okay? Another thing, life change goal. What do I mean by a life change goal? Maybe your life change is to quit your job. That's your goal. You want to get to a certain income, certain rank, so you can fire your boss. Maybe it is to retire your spouse. Maybe your spouse, you have a 2-income family and you want to have a 1-income family. Have your spouse be home more. Maybe it's to be able to move to that city that you always wanted to move to, or do something in your life big that you've always wanted to do. Maybe it's to retire your parents. Maybe it's to pay off their mortgage. Maybe it's to do something for them or someone in your family or somebody that you care about. So life change goals have been really, really good for me. That my 50-year big goal that I've had for the last 5 years was a life change goal for me. Big, big, big. Didn't even seem at all possible. And wow, guess what? It's totally possible. It's totally going to happen. So life change. Next, Debt. Most people that are watching this have some form of debt. So maybe you want to have debt reduction or debt elimination. So think about what that looks like and when you want it to happen. Okay? Think about debt. Next category was just stuff. Maybe you want to have a car, a particular car. Maybe you want to have a house. Maybe you want to have a vacation. Maybe you want to go on that company incentive trip that you have to qualify to go to. Maybe you want to get that company car if a company provides a car for you. Maybe there's a reward or an incentive inside of your company that you could push yourself to being able to achieve. Maybe if you do some certain thing, you'll get some special status. You'll be able to walk the stage at your conference or your convention. Think about what is the stuff that you want to be able to achieve, just to use it as a goal to pull you towards where you want to go. So the other thing that you can think about is giving back. Maybe you've got a goal to give back. Maybe you've got a goal to give to your religious organization. Maybe you have a goal to donate to some charity that's important to you. This is a big one for Marina and I. We've set some pretty serious goals as far as our contribution to the Starkey Hearing Foundation in our case. But whatever it is for you, think about a giving back goal, because that'll start to push you on a different level. I have friends who've funded orphanages or built schools in Kenya or whatever, and that gives them more juice in their life. They get more excited and more fired up and a bigger smile on their face about that than anything else. They'll go do their network marketing business just to be able to do that. Just to have the chance to be able to invest into somebody else's life or somebody else's cause or mission that is valuable to you. So think about a giving back goal. Now, I'm going to give you some other goals that have worked well for me. If you're serious about network marketing, think about the number of active distributors on your team. How many active distributors do you have on your team right now? And how many active distributors do you want to have on your team by the end of the year? Well, and we're going to talk about what you're going to need to do in order to make that real, but that's an important number. What's the number of active distributors on your team right now? Go take a look today when we're done with this. Go take a look, and then let's say it's 100 people are active on your team right now. And you set a goal for 5,000 active by the end of the year. You're like, how do I go from 100 to 5,000? Well, we're going to have to put together a game plan to make that happen. And then we're going to start multiplying that group, not just adding to it, but multiplying that group. So that goal can be really, really important to you, something that you track, something that you pay attention to. Next. Number of active customers. Same question. How many do you have now? How many do you want to have by the end of the year? And that will set in motion. When you set that number, that will set in motion a whole series of things that you must do in order to make that happen. So think about that goal. Here's a big one that I firmly believe in. Number of team at your company convention. How many did you have at the last one? What's your goal for having people at the next one? How many people you're going to have at that convention? That will create so much activity in the right behavior, in the right, what I would say, productive activity. If you say, okay, my company's convention is in April. They have one in April and one in October. Whatever it is for you. But if they have one in April, then we've got a game plan for February, March, April in order to be able to get a number at that one, and then use that as a springboard to get a number at the one in October. So you think about the goals that I set for Network Marketing Pro. Our first year we did a recruiting mastery event. We had 200 people attending. Second year we had 400. Third year we had 800. This last year we had, I don't know exactly how many, but many thousands. I set a goal for 5,000. I don't think we exactly hit the goal of 5,000, but it was in that neighborhood. Now next year, the biggest facility we could get is 8,000 people for the Mirage. We've already sold 5,000 tickets to that event. Now, you can do this any way that you want. You can also add the number of, let's say your company does regular opportunity meetings in different cities. How many cities do you want to have an opportunity meeting where it's your group? How many cities? How many opportunity meetings are going to be happening on a regular basis? In how many cities, in how many territories, or wherever you're at in the world? You could set a goal around that. Okay? You could set a goal about personal recruits. How many people are you going to personally bring in this year? How are you going to do it? Right? How many people how many new lines are you going to start this year? So you think of, as you go through all of this stuff, you got personal recruits, you got the rank, their income, their income, life change, their life change, your debt situation, the stuff, the giving back, how many active distributors, customers, team at the convention, opportunity meetings, personal recruits, whatever it is for you inside of your company, think about what are the milestones that are going to get you the most results. What things are going to help you in the achievement of your of these goals, in the achievement of your overall dreams? What is going to be the easiest things for you to track? What things can you pay attention to most? You know, the reason why I focus on this so much, because that makes me do everything else. In network marketing, I always focused on how many people in my team was going to be at the next convention. And that was the overall total focus, because when that happened, everything else took care of itself. In order to get those people, enough people engaged in that, they had to engage in all these other activities. It took care of everything. Plus, it made my job easy. You know, and in our case, for Network Marketing Pro, for the GoPro Recruiting Mastery, you want to talk about making next year easy for you? It's going to be so easy. The more people you have at that Recruiting Mastery event in November, it's going to make your next year completely 10 times easier, because everybody's going to be on fire. You're not going to be a motivator all the time. You can be a leader, not just motivate, rah, rah, rah. So this can give you some, a rough framework that you're going to have to do the work when we're done here. You're going to have to say, okay, what's important to me? What do I want to accomplish? What end results do I want to create? How many active distributors? How many active customers? How many people at the convention? How many opportunity meetings need to be going on? How many personal recruits am I going to bring in? Your goal might be around skills. You might want to become one of your company's best presenters or best trainers, right? You can set a goal around that. But these fundamental things, these are just some fundamental things that work for me and work for others. These types of things, maybe you want to be a trainer inside of your company and you want to be just a really motivational, powerful presence inside of your company. Who knows? Maybe you want to do a keynote at your company convention. What do you have to do in order to be able to do that keynote at your company convention? What kind of a person you have to become? What kind of skills you need to develop? Okay? So after you make all of these things, then you're going to add the time. The rank, let's say you want to go through 3 ranks. When are you going to hit the first one? When are you going to hit the second one? When are you going to hit the third one? Incomes, might be broken down, but usually it's for the end of the year. What do you want it to be? Life change. When do you want that life change thing to happen? I set one of my big life change goals on my birthday. I've set a lot of them on my birthdays. But the debt, when are you going to be, reduce your debt by X amount? When are you going to be out of debt? When are you going to get the car? When are you going to get the house? When are you going to give back? When are you going to speak at that company convention or whatever? Think about, put specific times on. This is usually end of year. Same thing with this. Number at the convention. When? Opportunity meetings. What growth are you going to have happen by when? Personal recruits. You know my philosophy on recruiting in bunches. So you're going to recruit a bunch of people by when? And then what are you going to do for the rest of the year? You're going to do a couple bursts. What are you going to do? What's your game plan to be able to do this? But think about the time. The time that it's going to take. I know it's probably below what you can see. But think about the time. Okay, so you got to put a specific date on the goals. Now we're going to talk about game plan. This is the key. Goals are great, but they're empty by themselves. Without the game plan, you don't go anywhere. The game plan provides strategy for results. You focus on strategy and process. What are you going to do in order to be able to achieve these goals? I'm a big believer to achieve any of these goals of a burst followed by consistency. You know what I'm saying? A burst followed by consistency. It's like the 90-day game plan. A burst of recruiting and business building followed by consistency after that 90 days. Any of these goals, a burst followed by consistency. What can you do radically in a short period of time and then settle into consistency in order to be able to maintain those goals? So what activities do you need to develop? You're going to do a burst of activity, but you got to identify what are the activities that I need to do in order to be able to make those goals a reality. If I want to achieve a certain rank, I got to break down what are the activities that I've got to do. Do I have the lines in place right now that I can support, drive, motivate in order to be able to achieve my goal? Or do I need to bring in some new lines in order to be able to achieve the goal? What are the activities that I'm going to need to do in order to personally recruit? What are the activities that I need to do in order to drive a campaign around doing home meetings? What activities do I need to do in order to make these goals a reality? And you're going to find, once you set a goal and then start listing the activities that need to happen. And if you've never done it before, just take a look at the people in your company that have done it, find out what they're doing, and then you know the roadmap. We're really good at sharing activities or sharing what works in our profession. Then, the calendar. I have my calendar right here. This is my 2014 calendar, and it is filled with milestones, goals, events, and strategies necessary to be able to achieve the goals that I've set for myself, Maureen and I have set for our lives, and it's pretty intense. I mean, if you look in the back of this thing, I'm not going to show you everything, but I mean, it's page after page after page after page of very serious, in-depth strategy in order to be able to understand the calendar. I kind of operate my life on lists and calendars. You know, I make my list of what I need to do. I got my calendar, I got my goals that pull me. I got my game plan that empowers me. Okay? And the calendar holds me accountable. The activities are what's going to get me where I need to go. So break the calendar down. I would encourage you to break it down to weekly, monthly, and a year. What do you need to do each week in order to get to your goals? What do you need to do each month? What do you need to do for the year in order to be able to get there? Okay? So calendar is really, really big. Next, a big part of your game plan to get to your goals where you want them to be in 2014 is to take a hard look at your associations. Who are you spending time with? You can't get to your goals if everyone around you is going in the opposite direction. It's not that you can't, but it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard because they're pulling on you. They're distracting you. They're waving, hey, look over here. They're doing everything possible. They're validating when you want to quit. They're encouraging you to check out early. right? Versus surrounding yourself in an environment that will push you and challenge you and force you to not accept something less than what you're capable of. Yeah, it's like being at GoPro Recruiting Mastery all the time. Those of you who are there, if you were there for all year round, you're going to get to your goals. You're just going to be around so many positive people. If you moved in with Marina and I, you're going to get to your goals because we're going to be talking about it every single day. What you need to do, and we're not going to let you accept a smaller vision of yourself. See what I mean? So if you get around positive people, that's going to help. It's like the free shows that we do every day on networkmarketingpro.com. What are those about? They're about reminding you every day, you're in the right place. It's okay. Here's an idea. Keep moving. Keep going. We believe in you. That's what it's about. So when you tune in every day and you just get 3 minutes of encouragement, it can empower you to go do the activities, fill up that calendar, do what's necessary in order to be able to achieve the goals that you want. So Network Marketing Pro can be associations. Putting an audio book in your car can be associations. At the beginning, it was really hard for me to associate with powerful people because I wasn't a powerful person. So I had audio programs by Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Dennis Whaley, Les Brown, Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, in my car as a little library, just going over and over and over and over and over again. Og Mandino, all these great people I'm listening to over and over and over again. And guess what? Just from changing that association, it really did change my life. 6 years later, I go from listening to them in my car to they're really in my car. All of them but a few. I never got to meet Earl Nightingale. He passed before I had a chance. But all the rest of those people that I mentioned were in my car. And I was listening to them talk about great things. Blew my mind. So that can happen for you. Books can be associations for you. Audio programs can be associations for you. Network Marketing Pro can be associations for you. But inside of your company, there are people that you can associate with that will build you up, that will make you stronger, make you wiser, make you bolder. And then there are other people in your life that will do everything possible to hold you back from your dreams. In that movie Phenomenon that we just watched last night, everybody in the town was just hoping that the John Travolta character would go back to his dumber self, because then they'd be more comfortable. They wouldn't be as threatened. They wouldn't have to tear him down. So understand, get around some powerful people, good things are going to happen. Limit yourself. You know, it's just like protect from negative, and feed with positive. Get as much positive as you can. Whatever's supporting you towards your goal, get around those people. Whatever's distracting you towards your goal, spend less time with those people. It's as simple as that, but it's super important. Next is culture. You as a leader are going to have to work on some culture-oriented things in order to achieve your goals. So, because it's not just about you, right? A lot of these goals are about inspiring a larger group of people. So, do you have to change your culture that everybody in your group attends the company conventions versus just some of them? You might have a culture that doesn't really promote it at all. You might have a culture that says, oh, only leaders go. Only at a certain rank they go, but everybody else doesn't. You might have a culture that says, yeah, most of the distributors go. You might have a culture that all the distributors go and they bring guests. That's a decision. That was decided on by a leader at some point. And people decided to embrace it because it's going to get them results. So what kind of a culture needs to be created to get rank advancement really going in your organization? What kind of culture needs to be created for recruiting to be happening like crazy in your organization? What kind of culture needs to be created for people to attend events or get more customers or whatever? Think about what's important for you and just understand you're going to have to really pay attention and build a culture where this is normal. This goal, this objective, this activity is normal. It's not the exception, it's the rule. That's what people who build cultures do, and that's what you need to do if you're really serious about going after your goals. So that talks about game plan. What I would ask you to do after here's what I'm going to say is, one, you're going to write your goals. Two, you're going to go back to your goals and give them a game plan. Go back to each one and give it a game plan. I have about 10 significant business goals. Each one of those goals has its own game plan of exactly what needs to happen. And that game plan drives my activity, drives my calendar, drives my behavior, drives what I do every single day. So think about that. After you develop those goals, write out the game plan for each one of the goals. And that leads us to the third part of radical results, and that's habits. Habits support long-term success. That's what they support. A little burst doesn't support long-term success, it supports a short-term goal. Habits, if you can turn them into habits, if you do these activities long enough, it becomes a habit. When I do a Network Marketing Pro show, guess what? After 85 shows on Network Marketing Pro, it's a habit now. If I don't do a show, I feel uncomfortable. I feel guilty, I feel uncomfortable, I'm not happy if I don't do a show. If I do a show, it's more the exception for me not to do one than it is for me to do one after almost 1,000 shows in less than 5 years. So long term is dependent on habits. The focus is on consistency. You need to be consistent if you're going to achieve the goals that you want to have long term and hold them long term. You know how many people in network marketing got to a rank or an income level and have never been back to be fully qualified at that rank or that income level again? An enormous amount of people. People who made 6 figures once, they made $100,000 once, they think that they arrived, and because they didn't develop good habits, that 6 figures was never seen again. They're still introduced as a 6-figure earner, but they haven't earned 6 figures in a long time. Why? Because their habits weren't changed. They did what was necessary for a short period of time. They thought that they arrived. You don't arrive in our business. You continue to get better. You continue to get better. You're either growing or you're dying. Right? You either contribute or you're eliminated. That's just the way it works. And what I want to see you do more than anything else is develop the habits so when you get a rank and you get an income, it's permanent. It's not temporary. So don't use the feast and total famine approach. We do a burst of energy and then we throttle back, but we don't totally take our foot off the gas. We'll do a 90-day game plan, then we'll throttle back, but we still have the habits in place that's going to keep us and going to sustain us. The habits are the real key to your long-term success in network marketing. That's the real key. Make sure there's a foundation under every campaign, a foundation of habits. So let me give you some examples of habits and what you can do here. Because you're going to be a slave to habits one way or the other. In one of the greatest books you should read called The Greatest Salesman in the World, Og Mandino. If you haven't read that book, immediately write it down, and when we're done with this, go buy the book. The Greatest Salesman in the World, Og Mandino. He talks about, he finds these sacred scrolls. There's these sacred scrolls that provide wisdom. And one of the scrolls is, since I'm going to be a slave to habits one way or the other, I'm going to be a slave to good habits. I'm paraphrasing, but all of us are slave to our habits. They're either good habits or they're bad habits. And so there's so many bad habits in network marketing, and bad habits get rewarded so much in network marketing. You can't believe how much bad habits get rewarded because you still make money with bad habits. In every other business, you'd be fired or eliminated a long time ago. But in our business, this volunteer army, it forgives and forgives and forgives and forgives, and it allows bad habits to fester. You've got to change that around. So for example, you could have procrastination as a habit. That could be a habit for you. Later, someday. You can change that habit to do it now. Which one do you want to have? This one or this one. Guess what? It's a decision. It's just a decision. If you do for your short-term game plan of do it now, do it now, do it now, hopefully that will hold and become a habit for you. And won't let you go into procrastination mode. Or this will be the exception, not the rule. Which do you want to be the exception? Which do you want to be the normal for you? If this is normal, is that going to give you a better life? A better business? Answer is yes. You want to make this normal and this the exception. Okay? For procrastination. I'll give you another one. Being late. Being late all the time. Always showing up late. Always starting late. Always doing everything late. Being early. Always being the first one there. Always being the one to make things happen. Always being the one that shows up on time or early. Which one would you rather be the exception? You want this to be the exception. You want this to be the rule. Think about the habit that's going to support your goals more. If you're late all the time, is that going to affect your team? Answer is yes. If you procrastinate all the time, is that going to affect your team? Answer is yes. So, not dependable. People can't count on you. That could be a habit. You're just not dependable. You say stuff, you don't really mean it. You say, yeah, I'll call, and you don't call. Yeah, I'll be there, and you're not there. Yeah, I'll do the three-way call, and you're not there. Okay? Being dependable. Being a person of your word. Which one would you rather be? Now understand, I've been in this business for 25 years. Guess what? A lot of people would say about me, for a good portion of my career, I was more identified by this than this. And I had to work and work and work. I'm not preaching down to you when I'm talking about these things. I'm saying it's things that I struggle with too. Our goal, the natural tendency of life, is to go this way. Do these things. That's gravity. This takes discipline and effort and focus on your goals in order to be able to do it. So, disappearing. You might be a leader that's checked in for a couple weeks and then you disappear for 3 weeks. What happened? Where did you go? Nobody knows where you went. So you could be consistent on this side. Even if you're a little bit less, you still stay in touch. Don't just totally disappear. Don't go to the dark side of the moon. So I could, negative talk on this side. Just constantly bitching and moaning. That's your habit. Or the habit is taking responsibility and never talking negative about anybody. If you have a negative thought, you don't need to spread it around to anybody else. Go directly to the person and nobody else. It might be going into management mode versus staying in building mode. What's the habit that you have? Make a list of the habits that you have right now and decide, are they all serving you? Because if they're not serving you, you got to just make a decision, flip the coin to the other side of that habit, and you're going to find the habit that does serve you. Okay? So if you're rebellious like I am, I'm a rebellious person by nature. I don't want to be told what to do. But once I decide, I'm deciding I'm going to do this. Not my parents or education or anybody else. I'm deciding I want to be early. I'm deciding I'm going to do it now. I'm deciding I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be dependable. I am. Then I was able to do it. When everybody else was always yelling at me, I said, well, heck with you. I'll do what I want to do. Live over there, right? Crazy what your mind does to you sometimes. So, as we're going through all this, it comes down to these three things. It comes down to, in order to get radical results, you need to write these goals down. What are the goals that are important to you? And I gave you some good ideas on this webinar. 2, you need to create a serious game plan for each one of those goals. What's the game plan to make it happen? What are the activities? What's the calendar? What kind of a person you need to become? What kind of skills you need to develop? What do you need to do in order to be able to get to that goal? And 3, what are the new habits that you want to have come out of this experience? My old friend Jim Rohn used to say, if you set a goal for being a millionaire, the $1 million isn't the real prize. The prize is the person that you're going to become in the process. And he's right. The person that you're going to become by setting these goals is the real prize. It's not the goal. You can set a goal to make 6 figures, and making the 6 figures isn't the real prize. The prize is you became a 6-figure person. You became a person of influence. You became a person of legacy and contribution. That's the prize. So, goal, game plan, habits. Goals, game plan, habits. Think about what you want to accomplish over the coming year. So I do have another thing I want to share with you. So I want you all to stay tuned. If you're super serious, I want you to stay tuned. But that's it for Radical Results. You know, this is what I wanted to give you as far as the value inside of this webinar. Okay. I hope you got the value that you're looking for. I hope it's been valuable for you and the people in your organization.